So now we are at step 7. So now we'll measure the temperature of the water in our calorimeter again. So once it's stable, record the temperature of our room temperature water in the calorimeter. And we expect it to be around 23 because that's what our room temperature water was. I think sometimes it takes a little while after it's gone from boiling water to room temperature. So we'll give it a little bit of time to see if it goes down. Alright, it's steaming pretty stable, so record the temperature of our room temperature water that's in our calorimeter. Now we're at step 8. Use the tongs to remove the third block, which is the copper block, from the boiling water. Quickly shake off as much water as you can and then place the cube in the calorimeter. Place the lid on the calorimeter and gently stir the contents for 20 seconds. So we'll do that. Alright, it's been 20 seconds, so now we're at step 9. Insert the temperature probe through the hole in the calorimeter lid. Do not let the tip of the probe touch the cube. So the cube's on that side, so we'll put it over here. Continue gently agitating the water in the calorimeter and follow the temperature on the lab quest. You want to record the highest temperature reached in the first row of table 1. So after the temperature reaches the maximum and starts decreasing, you're finished gathering data. So we will continue to watch it climb, and then once it starts to decrease, we will be done. Alright, the temperature is beginning to decrease, so record the highest temperature that you observed. And remove the cube from the calorimeter and pour the water down the sink. Alright, so now we're at step 12. Dry off the cubes before putting them away. So we'll dry these off and put them back at the instructor bench. And then step 13, to turn off the LabQuest, unplug the temperature probe. Tap the home icon on the lower right corner of the screen. Choose system. And then choose shutdown. And then choose OK when prompted to turn it off. And then step 14, clean up your lab bench and make sure to turn off the hot plate and unplug it. So we'll allow the water to cool before we put it down the sink, and we want to allow the hot plate to cool down before we put it away as well. Alright, so the water has stopped boiling, but it's likely still pretty hot, we could put that down the drain. So grab some hot mitts and we'll dispose of our water. And then we'll just let this cool on the bench, and we'll also let the hot plate continue to cool before we put it away. Alright, so now we're at the part of the lab for calculations. Step 15 is fill in the mass for each block in table 2. So you'll want to recreate something similar to table 2 in Excel or any other software that you're using. So you'll want to record the mass. And then 16, calculate the mass of water used in each experiment by taking the mass of the water in calorimeter from table 1 and subtracting the mass of just the calorimeter that we did initially before we began the experiment. And then step 17, calculate the delta T for the water by taking the final temperature and subtracting the initial temperature of the water. Be sure to use the subtraction rule for sig figs. And step 18, calculate the delta T for the metal by taking the final temperature and subtracting the initial temperature of the boiling water. The metal would have been the same temperature as the boiling water when the metal was placed in the calorimeter. This number should be negative. Be sure to use the subtraction rule for sig figs. Step 19, calculate the specific heat of each metal using the following equation. And then you'll want to show your work and remember that CW is 1.00 cals per gram Celsius. Step 20, use the table of specific heats at the end of the section to calculate the percent error for each of the 3 metals. Be careful with your sig figs. So on the next page, it shows the specific heats of common metals. And this is the percent error calculation. And then step 21, you'll continue to answer the discussion questions, and then you are done. So I hope you enjoyed this. We'll continue to allow the hot plate to cool down, and then we're done. Have a good day.